July, 1518. The city of Strasbourg, nestled in the heart of the Holy Roman Empire, was bustling with life. Merchants traded their goods, children played in the streets, and the townsfolk went about their daily routines, unaware of the bizarre event that was about to unfold. A woman steps into the street in Strasbourg and begins to dance. Her movements are erratic, her face a mask of confusion and distress. She twirls and leaps, seemingly driven by an unseen force. No music, no rhythm, no reason. The townspeople watch in bewilderment, their faces etched with concern and curiosity. What could possibly compel her to dance in such a frenzied manner? Within days, dozens join her. Men, women, and even children are caught up in the inexplicable dance. The streets of Strasbourg become a chaotic scene of bodies moving uncontrollably, their faces showing a mix of agony and ecstasy. Not for joy, but as if possessed. They dance for hours, then days. Their feet blistered and their bodies grew weak, yet they could not stop. The relentless dancing took its toll and exhaustion set in. Then, they started to die. One by one, the dancers collapsed, their bodies unable to withstand the physical strain. The once lively streets of Strasbourg were now filled with the eerie silence of death, leaving the townsfolk to wonder what had caused this tragic and mysterious phenomenon. This is not fiction. This was the dancing plague of 1518, a real historical event that baffled authorities and terrified citizens. In just 1 month, more than 400 people were overtaken by an unstoppable urge to dance. Some collapsed from exhaustion, others suffered heart attacks, and at least 15 reportedly died mid-dance. The dancing plague, also known as the dance epidemic, began in July of 1518 in Strasbourg, a city in the Holy Roman Empire, now modern-day France. It started with a single woman, Frau Trophea, who stepped into the street and began to dance fervently, without music or any apparent reason. Within a week, dozens more had joined her, dancing uncontrollably. The phenomenon quickly escalated, and by the end of the month, the number of dancers had swelled to hundreds. Physicians and local authorities were at a loss. They initially believed the dancing was caused by hot blood and prescribed more dancing to cure the afflicted. Musicians were even brought into play for the dancers, and a stage was constructed. However, this only seemed to exacerbate the situation. The dancers continued to dance day and night, some for weeks on end, until they collapsed from sheer exhaustion or worse. Modern theories suggest that the dancing plague might have been caused by ergot poisoning, a hallucinogenic mold that grows on damp rye. Others believe it was a form of mass hysteria, a psychological phenomenon triggered by the stress and hardships of the time. Whatever the cause, the dancing plague of 1518 remains one of history's most bizarre and mysterious events, a chilling reminder of how little we sometimes understand about the human mind and body. City leaders were stunned. Was it a disease? A curse? Demonic possession? Doctors ruled out supernatural causes. Their solution? More dancing. They built a stage and hired musicians, thinking the victims just needed to dance it out. One theory blames ergot, a toxic fungus, on rye bread. It can cause hallucinations, convulsions, even mania. Sounds plausible, but here's the catch. Ergot poisoning usually causes stiffness and pain, not wild rhythmic movement. Another theory? Mass psychogenic illness. Strasbourg was suffering from famine, disease, and fear of divine punishment. In times of high stress, the human mind can break together. Like a contagious psychological storm, one person's breakdown becomes a community's crisis. People believed in Saint Vitus, the patron saint of dance and epilepsy. They feared his wrath would curse the sinful with uncontrollable movement. Some even believed dancing could prevent greater punishment, so paradoxically more joined in to protect themselves. By late August, the dancing stopped. The once lively and chaotic streets of Strasbourg, filled with the relentless movements of the afflicted, gradually returned to a state of eerie calm. The sudden cessation of the dancing plague left the town in a state of bewilderment and relief. But what brought this bizarre phenomenon to an end? Victims were taken to a mountain shrine for prayer and isolation. This was a common practice at the time, as many believed that the dancing was a curse or a form of divine punishment. The serene environment of the shrine, combined with the isolation from the bustling town, seemed to have a calming effect on the afflicted individuals. They were encouraged to pray and reflect, hoping that divine intervention would cure them. But the questions never stopped. What really caused it? Scholars and doctors of the time were baffled. Some speculated that it was due to ergot poisoning, a condition caused by consuming rye bread contaminated with a toxic fungus. Others believed it was a form of mass hysteria, triggered by the extreme stress and hardships faced by the people of Strasbourg. Theories ranged from the plausible to the supernatural, but no definitive answer was ever found. And, could it happen again? The fear of such an inexplicable event reoccurring lingered in the minds of many. The idea that a community could be gripped by such a strange and uncontrollable force was terrifying. Modern science has provided us with more tools to understand and prevent such occurrences, but the mystery of the dancing plague remains a haunting reminder of the fragility of the human mind and body. In 2001, a similar event occurred in Tanzania where people laughed uncontrollably for weeks. This incident, known as the Tanganyika laughter epidemic, affected hundreds of people, mostly school children. It started with a few students and quickly spread, causing schools to close and communities to panic. The laughter was contagious, much like the dancing plague, and it highlighted the power of psychological phenomena to spread rapidly through a population. The human mind is powerful and fragile. These events, separated by centuries and continents, show us that our mental state can be influenced by a variety of factors, from environmental stressors to social dynamics. They remind us of the importance of mental health and the need to understand the complex interplay between our minds and our surroundings. As we continue to study these phenomena, we gain more insight into the resilience and vulnerability of the human psyche. The dancing plague of 1518 reminds us, sometimes history's strangest events are also its truest, and sometimes the scariest outbreaks don't need a virus, just fear. For more forgotten disasters, untold myths, and eerie truths, subscribe to Chronicles Unveiled, History Unfiltered.